Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a pleasure to be here with you, an honor to be in your presence, and I'm grateful to have this opportunity to present to you very valuable information and inspiration that will hopefully influence you for the rest of your lives. My name is Dr. Arnold Nerenberg. I'll be 78 within a few weeks. I've been in practice for over 45 years, met with over 40,000 sessions with patients over the years. What I'm going to present to you today is a very important topic, women's honor movement. I know women, I know you're going through a terrible time, most of you, over self-esteem and self-respect. Absolutely, absolutely. And one of the key reasons is it's so tied to your appearance, to your physical looks. And let me tell you something. If you say 1 is ugly, 5 is average, and 10 is absolutely gorgeous, most of you are a 5. You're never going to be a 10. You know how horrible that is? You can have someone at a 1 or a 2 that are really seen as unattractive. You can have some women 7, 8, 9, and 10, but they're not that many. And you know, even a woman who's a 10, let's say she's been fat all her life, and now she's thin and gorgeous, in her mind she's still a 2 because she's a fat girl still, because she was always fat. What a horrible oppression. What a horrible, horrible oppression. Certain bone structures will might be big, or a person doesn't like a body part. The chin is too small, the nose is too big. Horrible. And children can be so cruel. There's something that can even be said in school. That somebody says, "Oh, you're fatty," and then the girl grows up just always feeling she's fat and feeling terrible, goes home crying, or saying, "Do you have such a big nose? Oh my!" And they want to get a nose job, and they feel just terrible. I know this is no small thing. This is no small thing. And women, to deal with that, we spend more on cosmetics in this country than we do on education. More on cosmetics than we do on the whole educational system, whether it's from kindergarten to graduate school to medical school. More on cosmetics. Then you throw into that plastic surgery for breast enhancements and butt enhancements and lip enhancements and Botox. It's even going far beyond. Far, far beyond. And what a horrible oppression you're going through. Horrible. So I say, definitely you want to look good, ladies. You want to look good. You want to look awesome. And one of the main ways to do that is to look after your health. Number one, that just creates a glow. But you don't want your whole self-esteem, self-respect so tied to your physical looks. And your physical, I mean, you know, put on the mascara, the lipstick, work out, eat the right way. I mean, that's all good. Nothing wrong with that. That's wonderful. But you don't want your self-esteem and self-respect to just depend on that. To some extent, it's impossible to escape some dependence on that. But I'm bringing to you, you want your self-respect and self-esteem to depend only on your honor. Nobody can give you honor. And the good side of it is nobody can take your honor. Let me tell you something about a woman who's a 10. God help these women. God help them. Those of you who are 10, God bless you, but God help you, because time, you know, when you hit 60, 70, 80, and women start sagging and dragging and getting wrinkles, and they can only do so many surgeries, and if your self-esteem and self-respect's tied on your look, all that power you had over men and gorgeous, and you start seeing that go, you say, where's your self-respect and self-esteem then? That's where we're coming to the concept. My self-respect and self-esteem depend only on my honor, and I'm going to teach you about what that means very specifically. Otherwise, you're going to suffer from self-esteem issues, and you could tell yourself, "Oh, I'm beautiful. I'm just so wonderful. I'm beautiful," and you're not believing it. You can affirmations. It's not going to work. Why? Say a woman says, "I'm beautiful." Yes, I'm beautiful. Well, let me tell you what most women do. They say, "Who am I kidding? If I was beautiful, I wouldn't have to tell myself I'm beautiful. I'm telling myself, trying to fool myself into think I'm beautiful. Why am I doing that? Because I'm not beautiful." It actually makes a woman feel worse about herself. The affirmation doesn't work. It can actually make it worse. So you can't go by an affirmation. You want something that nobody can give you and nobody can take from you. And honor will do it. And I've interviewed, we've interviewed thousands of people on the streets, and I've interviewed close to 1,000 patients. Women, and these days, value honor as much as men. It used to be a very masculine concept, and it became very tied to the military. But once you pose the question, do you value honor? Women as much as men do. And when I give my female patients the option of taking the pledge to become what I call a disciple of honor, and I'm going to tell you what that is in a minute, 90% take that pledge. 90% of the women take the pledge right away. 90% of the men take it right away. Women are ready to embrace honor. At this time, women will embrace honor as much as men. To be a woman of honor, to be a disciple of honor. So, let's talk about what is honor. I'm defining honor as loyalty to your highest constructive values. Loyalty to your highest constructive values as embodied in what I call the 4 commandments of honor, or what I also call the 4 self-commandments of honor. What are the 4 commandments of honor? They're these. I wish you well. I take full responsibility for co-creating my reality and my problems. I'm grateful for the power I gain from hardship, and then taking one of 2. If you believe in God, it's God, your wish is my only wish. For those of you who don't want to address God or don't believe in God, it's I seek always to serve my highest values. I seek always to serve my highest values. Those are the 4 commandments of honor. Now, to truly walk this path of honor, to know, even if you memorize these 4 commandments, it's not enough. It's not enough. I guarantee you, in a week, 2 weeks, a month, at the most a year, you won't remember them. You won't remember the way of honor. You won't remember it at all. So, how do I get my patients, my students, to remember it? A very simple way. I get a commitment when people take the pledge to be disciples of honor, to repeat those 4 commandments of honor 3 times a day. For how long do they have to do it? For the rest of your life. For the rest of your life. Because as soon as you stop repeating them, you will not be living it. You will start forgetting it. You'll start losing that power as soon as you stop. You got to do it 3 times a day. So then I have with people then taking the pledge. My patients take this pledge, and 90% take it right away. I say, you want to take this pledge now, or you want to think about it? I go over the 4 commandments of honor, and I say, look, these are 4 very powerful thoughts. They're very powerful. They're medicinal. They're good for your health. They strengthen you not only morally, but emotionally, even physically. Do you want to take that pledge now? If you agree to take the pledge to be a disciple of honor, you're agreeing to repeat it 3 times a day for the rest of your life. Do you want to take that pledge now, or do you want to think about it? No pressure from me. None at all. I tell them, don't do it to please me. I'm doing it for you and your family and your loved ones. 90% say, I want to take the pledge now. 10% want to think about it. And of the 10%, half of them eventually take the pledge. Now, why do people wait to take a lifetime commitment? I don't have to talk anybody into it. People already believe these principles. That's why they're also called 4 self-commandments of honor. I don't have to convince anybody. Nobody has any problem with any one of those commandments. They already believe it. You already know the truth. You recognize it. So then I have them take the pledge. This pledge is so powerful. You won't believe how powerful this is. It doesn't matter how despondent somebody is when they come to see me. When they take the pledge, they instantly feel good. 95% feel good. I've interviewed over 700 people who've taken the pledge. They feel 95% feel good right away. 95% feel more hope right away. No matter how despondent they were, they feel more hope. And 92% say they feel more meaning in their lives. Immediately, boom, right away as soon as they take the pledge. Here's the pledge. And all the women in the Women's Honor Movement will be taking the pledge. So we raise our right hand, and here's the pledge. And they repeat this after me. As a disciple of honor, I pledge myself for all the days of my life to the 4 commandments of honor. And I will teach them to those I love. I'll repeat them every morning, afternoon, and evening, and I will listen to myself recite them. Then I say, welcome to the brotherhood, welcome to the sisterhood. And the effects are instantaneous. Boom, just like that. Feeling good, more hope, more meaning, just like that. Boom. It's moving. I don't care if the person came in weeping and sad and depressed and anxious. Right away, they feel improvement. Right away. Now, after I see my people are using it, then I give them what I call the bridge to help maximize the probability they're going to use it. They're doing it 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and night. And then more, they can use it as needed. Sometimes somebody feels I need it more, I'm going through a lot, and just do it all day long. But at least morning, afternoon, and night. So then I give the bridge between honor and reality that increases the probability that people will apply it as situations come up. Here's the bridge. You do the 4 commandments of honor. God, your wish is my only wish. I wish you well. I take full responsibility for co-creating my reality, my problems. I'm grateful for the power I gain from hardship. Here's the bridge. What is the most honorable thing for me to think, say, and do in this situation? What is the most honorable thing for me to think, say, and do in this situation? Well, you can have pleasure without honor. You can have pleasure, but that's not true happiness. Just seek honor. True happiness will come. Self-respect will come. Self-esteem will come. Peace of mind will come. So our people are all pursuing honor. If you ask anybody else outside of about the 1,000 who've taken the pledge, what do you want in life? They'll tell you happiness. And what they think is to make them, typically what people think is going to make them happy, typically doesn't. Without honor, there is no such thing as happiness. No such thing. But now we come to some of the goal of the whole honor system. Is to be able to tell yourself the best true story about your worst problem. To be able to tell yourself the best true story about your worst problem. Why did I say that? Look, I discovered the cause of all stress. Not 99.9, but 100% I found the cause. Let's say somebody loses their job. They say, oh my God, I see the nature of the universe. I lost my job. How terrible. And it is. It's awful. We're not going to minimize that. For a person's livelihood, they have to make their payments, support their family. It's awful. They say, I've lost my job. That's the nature. That's all. Yeah, oh my God. They just see only that because they're so into that thought, which is understandable. But that's not what causes the stress. Losing the job didn't cause the stress. No. What caused the stress is they don't see, they have this finger, this finger, this finger, this finger, this eye, they're in good health, their children in good health, their relationships in good. They're not seeing all the bounty and beauty and love in which we're immersed. That's what causes the stress, loss of perspective. By keeping the 4 commandments of honor with the bridge, you keep a wider perspective, more likely to not lose perspective, and therefore not get as stressed, because you'll get some stressed. Now, you need to understand your identity in terms of the women's honor movement. You have to understand your identity. And you don't yet. I'm going to tell you what your identity is. The thoughts that pop into your mind do not define who you are. No. Those thoughts are based on your genetics, family upbringing, societal norms. Those thoughts are based on societal norms, your family upbringing, and your genetics. So if you get a thought, so you just say, I'm just a fatso. I'm just an ugly fatso. Well, you're not responsible for that thought. It just popped into your mind. It's based particularly on societal norms. You're not even responsible for it. You're more a reflection of the thought you choose. And if you say, you know what? I'm a disciple of honor. My self-respect and self-esteem depend only on my honor. Now, what you need to know is you're not fighting that negative thought. You just let it be. The thought comes, I'm a fatso, I'm ugly, my nose is too big. Just get that thought. You're not going to fight and say, oh, it's not true, I'm really beautiful. You don't get into an argument with yourself, or you just let it sit. You didn't choose it. It's not even you. Thought popped in your mind, but does not define who you are. You're more a reflection of thought you choose. So I'm a disciple of honor. My self-respect and self-esteem depend on my honor, only on my honor. So now you're balancing. Now, don't think that by saying this positive thought that it makes the negative go away. It doesn't. The negative is more powerful than that positive. It is on the short term. But guess what? By balancing it, every time you get a negative thought, you're balancing with a thought based on the honor system. You do it each time. Guess what happens? That negative thought, that negative feeling comes less frequently, with less duration, and eventually with less intensity. It'll come less often, less duration when it does come, less intensity. So you're not feeding it, you're not growing the negative thought, you're balancing it, you're not fighting it, you're just balancing it. And the effect is that the negative thought, whatever it is, it could be an anger. Say you have an anger at somebody, you want to say, I want to tell that person, I want to slap her. You're getting that thought. Well, you didn't choose that thought, it just popped in your mind, but doesn't define who you are. So you're balancing, but I wish you well. Or, you know what, I just can't blame her. I take responsibility for co-creating the problem. Or, you know what, I don't like this, but it's going to make me strong. I'm grateful for the power I gained from the hardship. Or, God, I'll handle it however you want me to handle it. So you're balancing it. Again, that negative thought will not go away when you do that. Don't expect it. It's more powerful than that thought based on the commandment of honor. It's more powerful in the short term. But by balancing each time, again, that negative thought, a negative feeling will come less often. It will come with less duration for how long it will last and with less intensity. That's the good news. You're seeding the future. You're creating a future psyche. You're actually changing your whole biochemistry, because on every cell membrane are epigenes, the epigenetic communication with your genes. The epigenes are communicating with the genes. They can turn. See, when you have genes, good genes, bad genes, that's not the issue. The issue is if a bad gene is expressed, you have a problem. If a good gene is suppressed, you have a problem. Well, with this kind of constructive thinking, constructive balancing, you maximize the possibility of turning on a constructive gene. For instance, the epigene might turn on the p53 gene, which fights off cancer. We all know, there's so many studies showing that a positive attitude and optimism when you're going for surgery leads to a better prognosis. That's a fact. A positive attitude, an attitude of optimism, leads to a better prognosis from a surgery. The mind-body connection is well established. Well established. If somebody's depressed, they're more likely to succumb to whatever the situation is in terms of physically. We all know that if you walk around angry a lot, you're more prone to cardiovascular events, heart attacks, strokes, all based on anger. So this is now going to help with anger. It's going to help with all the negative feelings that you get in terms of coming less frequently, less duration, less intensity. So you want to be able to tell yourself the best true story about your problem. So the best true story, there's so many examples I've had of this. So many. I had a woman come to see me. It was sad. She came in weeping. Lovely lady, just lovely. Her son had been shot 9 times, and he was in stable condition in the hospital. She was weeping in the session. And I said, oh my God, I said, I have 7 children. This is a parent's nightmare. I said, as a human being, as a parent, I feel so much compassion for you, so much. As a psychologist, I understand the psychodynamics of your suffering. Well, what if I told you that there's a true story you can tell yourself about this that will give dignity, nobility, and honor to you and to your son? Will give dignity, nobility, and honor to you and to your son. She said, what is that, Dr. Nerenberg? I said, are you ready for the healing medicine? She said, yes, I am. I said, here it is. They couldn't kill my son. They shot him 9 times. God has a purpose for his life. They couldn't kill my son. They shot him 9 times. God has a purpose for his life. I already knew she believed in God. Truthfully, I saw her face just transform. Weeping, sad, depressed. And I saw her face slowly light up. Her eyes started lighting up. And she became actually joyful. She said, yeah, God does have a purpose for his life. She walked out. She was so happy. She said, yeah, God does have a purpose for his life. I said, be sure to tell your son. So I saw her the next week. She came in beaming. I said, did you tell your son? She said, yeah. I said, it made him smile, made him happy, even laugh. And this is a mother with a son shot 9 times in stable condition. And let me tell you, in addition, what I've heard about him through his uncle is that he's turned around completely. He's such an honorable man. He became a much better human being from having been shot. He used to have some gang affiliations and whatnot, walking a clean life. Turned out to be a really good thing for him. Facing death, he turned out to be a much better human being. That's the best true story about a worst problem. And so as a disciple of honor, in terms of the women's honor movement, you want to be able to do that. And let me tell you something. None of us have always lived an honorable life. Not me, not you. So the statement that goes with this is, I've not always lived with honor, but I will die with honor. I have not always lived with honor, but I will die with honor. So that's the guiding principle. So we have the 4 commandments of honor, the pledge, the bridge, the goal, one of the goals. I'll tell yourself the best true story about your worst problem to keep perspective. But now, you add, after you do the bridge, you then add the statement for self-respect and self-esteem. So you do the 4 commandments of honor, and then you do the bridge, and then you say, after that you say, my self-esteem and self-respect depend only on my honor. So you're doing that 3 times a day. My self-respect and self-esteem depend only on my honor. That's the full system. That's the essence of the women's honor movement. But the three other points we're going to go over, but that's the first step. I feel for all the women. I feel so much compassion what you go through with this struggle for your self-esteem. It's terrible, and so much is dependent on your good looks. And God bless you. We want you to look good. You want to look good. But I don't want your self-respect and self-esteem to depend only on that. You know, you could be gorgeous in one culture. You go somewhere else and say, you're too skinny. You know, here you were like a model. You go to another culture where they like a plumper woman. Now you're not so good looking. Now you're living there. You don't want to be, you don't want to be a slave. Women, all you lovely women. You don't want to be a slave what the world tells you are. That's going to hurt you. It's going to damage you. So this breaks the chains when you say, my self-respect and self-esteem depend only on my honor. Now you're free. Otherwise, you're a slave to society, the commercials on TV, the movie stars. And very few people can look like those movie stars. I mean, they work full-time at getting surgeries and dieting and exercise. You know, they've got all that time to do it and the money and the resources. And other people are raising kids and driving them to school and you know, take them to the doctors. You're just lucky you get a few minutes for yourself. But in terms of looking good, get healthy. Eat a lot of vegetables, eat a lot of plants, get exercise. I'm going to give you Dr. Nerenberg's 4 laws of exercise. I'm a world champion powerlifter and a world champion bodybuilder. It took me 60 years to articulate these 4 laws of exercise. Here they are. Never quit. No excuses. The best time to work out is now, and the worst time to work out is later. If you follow those 4 laws, whether you're doing yoga, Pilates, weightlifting, whatever you want to do, just keep to that. And remember this, 3 minutes of working out a day is far superior to 0. Far. It's easier to go from 3 minutes to an hour than it is from 0 minutes to 3. It's easier to go from 3 minutes to an hour workout than it is from 0 minutes to 3. Because the hardest part about getting in shape, I'll tell you what it is. This is what the hardest part is. Getting started. Getting started is the hardest part. You say, well, I tell you so, I have to go to the gym, I'm going to do an hour. You may not want to do it. You may not have the hour, or you just don't feel up to it. I'm going to just work out for 3 minutes. I just drop on the floor, do some push-ups, some leg raises, whatever. That's the key in terms of the... Now, we're going to talk about cosmetology. You know, God bless the beauty industry. Getting your hair done, nails, the mascara, the lipstick, the right makeup. Awesome. Beautiful clothing. Awesome. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. But, you know, you can see a woman, the best body, perfect features on her face. But there's just something missing. What is that? I'm here to tell you what it is. It's the beauty of the heart, a loving heart, sweetness in the heart. Affects the beauty of the eyes. Don't think your eyes are not affected by your heart. If you have love in your heart, sweetness in your heart, forgiveness, it puts a different glow to your skin, to your lips, to your eyes. So I'm calling this inner cosmetology. Inner cosmetology. And how do you achieve that? Well, you follow the 4 commandments of honor. Being a disciple of honor will bring the maximum glow into your heart and ultimately into your face. And as your self-confidence and self-esteem ties into your honor, you will carry yourself differently. And you're not doing it because you want people to respect you. You're going to respect yourself. And when that happens, a little perk that'll go with it, other people will respect you more as well. But that's just a perk. The thing is, you're respecting yourself. Key. So the inner cosmetology, I wrote a book called Lipstick of the Soul. If you want to be getting that. Now, the other aspect, the third aspect is understanding that men, we have a masculine aspect, a feminine aspect. A woman has a feminine aspect, a masculine aspect. So the feminine nature is nurturance, love. That's beautiful. But you really need to integrate that with your masculine principle, the masculine nature in you. What is that? Rise to struggle. That is the essence of the masculine principle. But the masculine principle and the feminine principle integrated, that's not enough. That has to be integrated with noble character. The masculine and feminine principle alone are not sufficient. Must be integrated with noble character. And noble character is basically being a disciple of honor, a woman of honor. Being a mother It does not mean being an entertainment committee. Yeah, you want to entertain the kids, take them to Disneyland, but that's not the essence of being a mother. That's not it's not a sacred obligation to take your kids to Disneyland. That's a good thing, but it's not a sacred obligation. It's not. It's good if you take the kids to soccer practice and ballet lessons. Wonderful. But you don't have a sacred obligation to do that. You have a sacred obligation to show your children the way of honor. You have a sacred obligation to show your children, your sons and your daughters, the way of honor. That is your obligation. Everything else is on top of that. If you're not doing that, if you spend day and night with your children and drive them all over and buy them everything they want, that's not treating being a mother as being sacred. You must show them the way of honor. So this is how you honor yourself. This is how you increase your self-respect, your self-esteem. The Women's Honor Movement. This is, as you subscribe to the Women's Honor Movement, you live this life, my self-respect and self-esteem depend only on my honor. This is the path you must follow to be removed from the oppression of letting others define who you are and what it is to be worthwhile. This is the way to self-worth. You know, somebody might say, well, I really love myself. Oh, I love myself. I'm going to go buy that jacket and go buy it. Oh, I feel so good. And then it gets ripped or the kid vomits on it. You don't have your jacket anymore. Or you get a car. I deserve that car. I love myself. And you go buy that beautiful Jaguar, whatever. Oh, it's gorgeous. And somebody takes a key and scrapes it up. Or one of your kids takes it and smashes it up. You go, oh my God, buy that nice dress. Awesome. Do it. By all means, do it. But that's not self-love. That's when we pamper ourselves. We like to, pamper. There's no problem with that. That's good. Good, good, good. But true self-love is to be a disciple of honor. That's how you show you love yourself. When you're living the principles of honor, the 4 commandments of honor, with the bridge, and my self-respect and self-esteem depend only on my honor. Be able to tell yourself the best true story about your problems. Thank you.